Okay, so here's how I made the graphics for cold. Some of it's pretty interesting. Well, let's start with the easy things, I guess. So the trees look pretty cool. Let me just have a light on. It looked like complicated geometry, but it was done in engine. Here's how. There's some CSG mesh combiners, which it's basically a bunch of CSG meshes. This is GLTF exported from the engine. I have the original too. Let me just find it here. So the core. It's literally a bunch of prisms and a cone at the top, all nicely rotated together. Now the fun thing for how it looks, that's all in the magic of the material. I exported that as a GLTF so it would be more efficient. CSG meshes are pretty heavy on CPU. So let's look at the material. This is a shader. It took me a bit to figure it out. I made it originally in the visual shader editor and then exported to this because it was easier for me to understand what's actually going on there. There's two parameters on every object, two noise maps, one used for normals, one for, well, color. I did the same for the wood cylinder here. This one I didn't even need to code anything fancy. Just generated noise for the texture and the same for the normal. If you actually want to see the settings, I play with values until I got something interesting. I just set roughness and metallic to null because I don't want anything. So yeah, now because there's a lot of polys in this and pretty high cost for the CSG meshes, I just exported it as a normal mesh I showed you earlier. How you would do that is scene, export as GLTF scene. Easy. Okay, so that's the tree done. Let's see the next thing. Right, you've seen how when you move the snow works, right? This has been a pretty big issue for me in terms of performance. That's why it takes sometimes a few seconds for it to start up to a minute in some cases. Again, it's a CSG mesh, subdivided a bunch of times. And the material, this I hope was somewhat clever. Again, every texture is just noise generated. Until I got something that looks good. But yes, even generating these noise patterns at runtime, it will take a bit. Oh, I'll show you that later. So here's the cool thing. How it knows to draw things based on the player. I have a viewport over here with a sprite, which is also no external graphics. I created a texture and generated it here. Yeah, I can change things even, or change the colors. It's all fun. Okay, so basically, what's magical about this viewport, it only clears on the next frame and it updates always. What this means is it will only clear it once. So every time you draw again, it will leave a trail. And that's how you draw the lines on this square here, which I then map in the shader. In the vertex. Basically, play with that. And hey, if you walked over it so it's a different color, just make it higher or lower. By default, it's going to be max height. Then it decreases based on that. And when it decreases, it has the dirt material to show. Actually, I wonder. So the other thing, for the 3, I mean, I exported the GLTF and it made things simpler. Maybe it would be simpler here too if I do that. I should try that later. Next, this is a wood plank. It's just, again, a box with noise-based textures. I managed to get something that, to me at least, looks fairly woody. Okay. It's got normals and everything. The axe is the same, but it also has a metallic side to it. Again, I just used noise. Because, you know, no graphics, so no graphics. The trap is just a bunch of cylinders with, well, you can already tell, the same wood material. Rabbit. Again, bunch of meshes in a combiner. And everything has a magical DIY material based on generated noise textures. Now, the fun thing about it is, see how it's, let me just make it unlit, not unlit, disable world environment, right? See how it's going in lines like fur? That's why it's different size. If it was 512, 512, it would look more, I don't know, grimy, I guess. Oops. Now this looks like it goes back. Like fur. I know there's probably better ways and I could probably have done a custom shader for it, but meh, who cares? I was rushing. Didn't really know what I was doing. Right. Now this is interesting, the fire. First, let me just disable anything you don't care about. This, same wood planks from earlier. Nothing to it, nothing interesting. Then, for the fire, apparently I broke it at some point. Oh yeah, I changed the mesh. It used to be a plane. And it was oriented like this, with the fire material on top. Yeah, slightly better, but pretty much the same. The fire is, again, noise-based texture, and the previous brush I used for the player walk, I used as a mask to hide it. In fact, I have a better way to do it. Same way I did smoke, but I did smoke many hours later. So we're gonna ignore that for a bit. Also, it has a bit of emissive on it. Or not. What? Really? Huh. Well, apparently I removed it at some point. There's also an omni-light to help with the environment. And the smoke, really proud about this. Again, it's planes, tiny ones. And the material, I like to open in code. Yeah, I started with a standard material and then play with it. Basically, they're billboarded textures, so they look at you wherever you turn, because it's a plane. Fragment shader has... So, okay, background first. There's 2 noise patterns that I generate, and they scroll with each other. That would be here. I tried sinus cosine, but it would just spin weirdly, so I just get, hey, give me time, doesn't even need to be the absolute value, multiply by 0.1, and see how it moves a bit. Basically what's happening is this. Oh wait, there's no Z in this because it's not 3D. It could be. And they're both going in this diagonal with plus and minus. So that just it. Blend the alphas so they don't all show up at once. Oops. Slightly scale them. I don't know if this is working actually. But yeah, looks pretty cool. See? Diagonally moving up the mesh. Anything interesting here? Yeah, slightly spinning them so it looks like the puffs of smoke are rotating. Yeah, that's basically it for the graphics. I had fun with it. Now, what I wanted to try now. Maybe this is the problem. Oh. I save it's gonna be a resource. So let's just turn you into copy. New scene. 3D. Did I paste it and it's loading or what's happening? Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Yep. Okay, we wait for it to respond first. Oh yeah, I should show you the UI later. Okay, now I will remove the material. I'm thinking maybe it's the subdivisions that are causing the issues, you know? Make scene root. Delete no 3D because no one cares about it. Export as GLTF scene. And I'll just call it snowfield. Obviously. Okay, exported. Now we wait a bit. And if this is what fixes it, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna upload this separate version for this. Not in the jam, obviously, because jam over, but you know. So, off you go. And now... Not Snowfield TSCN, it was Snowfield GLTF. Oh, that's faster. Swarm, let's have you at 0, 0, 0. And let me get you some material. No, can't use that. Ah, that's fine. I'll use this other thing. Snow shader. No, has to be unique, I forgot. So shader, make unique. No. New viewport text. Because resource saved as file. Resources need to belong to a C now. Maybe you. Then make local. So it doesn't work. Or does it? Wait. Okay, it just controls it a bunch of times until I have the original one again. Okay, snowfield. Good. Going to copy the other one. It will still stay under navigation. And for from you. I'm going to copy. First, make local for safety purposes. Make unique. Let's get it on surface. Paste. Now, yeah, it's already connected. Perfect. So will this actually work? Oh. Delete the other one. For safety, unwrap for UV2, I guess. This may or may not work. Let's see. If it's loading faster than last time, it's a win. That's not guaranteed. Well, it started. I'll just show you. Let me just bring it to the top in OBS. Oh yeah. Seems to be working, but similar-ish performance, not the best. Oh yeah, hypothermia. Oops. Still. Seems slightly better. But I'm not sure. So, this is how I made the graphics for the project. I had fun with it. Sadly, I had some other issues I had to deal with. Basically, when I tried to make the level bigger, it was 4 times the size right now, and it had a lot of trees. It just didn't work proper. Then I had breaking GI probes, so I removed it. And then I play with the trees. I even did something I thought was somewhat clever. There's this large area on the player to disable bodies that go out of it. Yeah, that didn't help at all. I tried changing to Jolt, not even using it currently. Using the default engine. So yeah, I had to do what I could. Thanks for watching and have fun. Make games.